3 biblical prophecies fulfilled that some believe have predicted the end of the world. Before we get started, hit that thumbs up button if you love potatoes and comment down below if you think the world is really gonna end. Welcome to Inform Overload. I'm your host Johnny Rogers, and if you're new to the channel, we tell you about the most interesting news stories that we find on the internet, and well, we make them more entertaining for the potato people of the world. End of the world prophecies have been spouted for a very long time. I'm sure most of you remember Y2K, where everyone thought that all of our technology would crash due to a computer bug changing the date from 1999 to 2000. Plus, not that long ago we had the 2012 prophecy that was based on a Mayan calendar coming to an end. We even got a sweet disaster movie as a result of the hype. This time though, it's a prophecy of biblical proportions. Now let's break down the 3 signs that people are saying predict the end of the world. The first is the birth of a red cow in Israel. The first in 2,000 years. This signifies the end of times in both Christianity and Judaism. The calf will now undergo extensive examination to make sure that it's blemish free. I feel like it would be more fitting if it had mad cow disease. To me, that would be the end of the world. But that's not in the Bible, so blemish free it is. The red calf is said to bring promise of reinstating biblical purity in the world, but only if the cow is red. The second prophecy is that fish will begin to inhabit the Dead Sea, which is now being called the 8th wonder of the world. To me, Andre the Giant will always be the 8th, which makes this one the 9th, but we'll go with the professional's word on this one, because even scientists were in disbelief to see fish in the Dead Sea sinkholes. The original prediction of the end of days comes from the Old Testament prophet Ezekiel, who predicted that the Dead Sea would flourish into life. More specifically, if you turn to your Old Testament to Ezekiel 47 pages 8 and 9, you'll see it says, "There shall be a very great multitude of fish." If that's true though, why is tuna so expensive? The third and final prophecy is that a snake will come from the western wall. Sure enough, the creepy crawler wiggled its way out of the western wall as people were worshipping. And as you'd expect, this caused some immediate panic. The snake is a symbol that we are living in dangerous times and is said to be the lead up to the coming of the Messiah. The guy certainly knows how to make an entrance, I'll say that. Personally, it's hard for me to believe these prophecies because I barely trust meteorologists with the weather. Plus, after the Old Testament, they wrote the New Testament, which clearly means it had some errors that needed to be fixed. If you want to have some fun though, share this video with a friend who is a hypochondriac or conspiracy theorist. They're pretty much the same thing. I honestly don't believe this means much of anything. It's probably more plausible for a zombie apocalypse to happen, but come at me, biblical bros, and tell me what you think. Now let's get to answering some of your comments, shall we? Dan W says, "Is he taking over the channel?" Just lend